Hey you guys, let's take a minute and review very quickly what it is that we've been doing over the last several weeks. First of all, we asked you to go ahead in the beginning to research in order to understand your argument and to make an informed decision about which side you were going to choose. Then you went ahead and you wrote your thesis. Then you went ahead and you wrote the beginnings of the body of your essay, where you put in a positioning statement into each one of your paragraphs. And then after that, you supported that positioning statement with 3 pieces of evidence. Today we're going to take it a little bit further. Of course, you know your teachers are always going to ask for more, so we're going to use even more evidence to build our arguments, to make them even stronger. You know, it's kind of obvious, and it kind of makes me sick to say, but you should already know this, but I'm going to say it anyway. And that is, when writers are writing an argument essay, they don't just write from the heart. Because writing from the heart is not important here. What is important here is that you are using evidence to prove your point. And you have to use compelling evidence. That means evidence that's going to suck the reader in, that's going to engage the reader. Strong evidence, not weak evidence of, well, we'll get to that part later. But in order to do that, you're going to have to look over a lot. Let me repeat that. You're going to have to look over a lot of different media and research materials. You're going to have to look over books and videos and magazine articles and all different types of things. You can't just stick to one source, because you want to look over all these things to find really strong evidence that's going to support your claim. But most importantly, when you find that evidence, you're not going to use another author's words. You're going to use your words. You have to put it into your own words, which is paraphrasing. All right, we're going to check out a letter from a student from the previous years who, did the same type of activity. I'm going to read it to you. Actually, we're going to read it together in a minute. But I want you to look for evidence that he used and to see if you can think of other ways that maybe we can help him use more text evidence, facts and information from your research, in order to make his argument even stronger. All right, so here's his letter. Let's go ahead and read it together. Please follow along as I read. Dear Miss Granger, schools should keep serving chocolate milk to us. I love chocolate milk, and my friends love chocolate milk. Everyone loves chocolate milk. They make strawberry milk as well, and they should serve that too. We should serve chocolate milk because it tastes good and because it has some good vitamins. Chocolate milk tastes like, well, chocolate. Who doesn't like chocolate? Everyone likes chocolate. Go to I don't know what this says, or a Starbucks, or a Dean and DeLuca. What do you see at the counter luring in the kiddies and the adults? It's chocolate. Chocolate makes us happy. School does not always make us happy. No argument there. So keep serving chocolate milk. It's an oasis of sweetness. Ooh, isn't that awesome? It's an oasis of sweetness. I think even the teachers would find they like school more if they drank more chocolate milk. In addition, chocolate milk has some stuff that's good for you. It has vitamins and calcium. Put away those sodas and Gatorade. Drink milk. Just exercise too, and the sugar will melt away, leaving only the happiness. And that's from a student named Jack. Now, I'm sure that you're all probably looking at his letter and you saw a lot of errors along the way. Or you're probably thinking, wow, he didn't really give much supporting evidence to make his argument really strong. So let's help Jack do that. What do you say? Well, there's no doubt that Jack's letter was entertaining, to say the least. But how could Jack go about adding in some better evidence into his letter that would make it more compelling, that would make it more believable, that would make it stronger? You want to find articles. Remember we talked about that earlier in the video? Finding articles from different medias. newspaper articles, magazine articles, web-based articles, videos, blogs, whatever it may be. Those are all wonderful resources and they should all be used. So let's use one of those things. Do you guys remember that story that we read in the beginning called Nutrition in Disguise? Let's go check that out. Now here's that article called Nutrition in Disguise, and you know that this is a high quality article and it probably has some good facts in it because it's a report from the Midwest Dairy Association. Can't go wrong. When you're looking for reputable evidence, make sure you're looking for a good source. It should be a source that would know a lot about your topic or would be an expert in your topic. I tend to think that the Dairy Association knows what they're talking about when it comes to milk. Please follow along as I read it. If you secretly love chocolate milk, you're in for some happy news. By the way, as I'm reading, be thinking in your head about Jack's story and what evidence would be good to put into Jack's story. Recently, the Midwest Dairy Association released an infomercial that argues chocolate milk is, according to nutritionist Melissa Dobbins, nutrition in disguise. In the infomercial, Miss Dobbins, who introduces herself as a nutritionist for the Dairy Association and a mom, brings along 3 young friends to help her demonstrate that chocolate milk is a healthy part of a young person's diet. As Mrs. Dobbs puts it, the fact is that chocolate milk and other flavored milks have the same 9 essential nutrients as white milk, and a small amount of added sugar compared to other beverages. Best of all, because they love the taste, some kids drink more milk when it's flavored. You only have to watch kids in the lunch line to see the truth of what Miss Dobbins says. Given a choice, almost any child will choose chocolate milk over white. We serve 6 or 7 cartons of chocolate for each one of white milk at lunch, says Mrs. Raleigh, a server in a local elementary school cafeteria. In fact, it's pretty much only with breakfast cereal that any kid would choose white milk. What's the attraction of chocolate milk? Well, if you haven't had any for a while, give it a try. You'll have to admit that the creamy, smooth, chocolatey taste is truly delicious. But is it good for you? Miss Dobbins says yes. Research shows that children who drink flavored milk meet more of their nutrient needs, do not consume more added sugar, fat, and calories, and are not heavier than non-milk drinkers, says Miss Dobbins. Miss Dobbins' explanation is supported by her analysis of the nutrition information in other flavored drinks. Joined by a trio of healthy young girls, hair gleaming and teeth shining, Miss Dobbins analyzed the contents of a sports drink, a cola, and chocolate milk. Here's what she finds. In the sports drink, there are 14 grams total of carbohydrates. This amount clearly concerns Miss Dobbins, and her anxiety is infectious. That means that there is about 3.5 added teaspoons of added sugar per serving. But if you drink the whole bottle, it's 7 teaspoons of added sugar, explains the Midwest Dairy Council nutritionist. Next, Miss Dobbins looks at the cola. Same story. Her young friend shows that there are 39 grams total carbohydrates. That, Miss Dobbins explains, equals about 9 teaspoons of added sugar. Clearly, sports drinks and sodas are bad choices for kids. Too many carbs, too much sugar. Chocolate milk, on the other hand, has 27 grams total carbohydrates, and according to Ms. Dobbins, about 3 teaspoons of added sugar, much lower than the amount of sugar that is added to cola and sports drink. And chocolate milk, unlike other flavored drinks, gives important nutrients, including protein, vitamin A, vitamin D, and calcium. We're convinced chocolate milk is tasty and nutritious. Chocolate milk provides the nutrients kids need for good health, and it has less than half the added sugar of cola. Chocolate milk also helps kids get the 3 daily servings of dairy recommended by the Dietary Guidelines for Americans, sums up Miss Dobbins, handing bottles of chocolate milk to her young friends. We're next in line, Miss Dobbins. Bring on the nutrition in disguise. Interesting. And then I like this. There's a link here where you can find more information about chocolate milk and the nutrition that would be helpful for people who are doing chocolate milk. All right, now that I've read the article and I read it carefully, and I probably if I was doing this on my own, I would have gone ahead and I would have highlighted what I thought were important pieces of information that I could add into my story or into my letter. But the piece of evidence that I'm going to be working with today was this one where it says Ms. Dobbins, a nutritionist from the Dairy Association, said that chocolate milk has the same 9 nutrients as regular milk. So what is that piece of evidence mostly about? Well, that piece of evidence shows that there are parallel similarities between chocolate milk and white milk, right? They have the same 9 nutrients. So what's the difference? One's white, the other one's chocolate. Now I have to figure out where would this best fit in Jack's draft. I'm going to think about that for a second. Okay? Thinking about Jack's entire story and where would this fit in best in Jack's draft? Well, let me go back to Jack's paper. Let's check it out and let's see where we could put this in that would make his letter a little bit stronger. So here I am back with Jack's writing, and looking over it, I'm going to start with this first paragraph because if I'm looking for evidence, me personally, I'm going to start from the very beginning. That doesn't mean that you have to. If you're reading an article and you find a piece of evidence that's going to fit in later on in the story, then go ahead and do that. That's okay. There's no order for it. You're just looking for evidence that's strong evidence, and then you have to come back to your story to figure out where you can put it. So I'm going to start reading Jack's letter. Let's follow along as I read it again, and let's see where I can put in that piece of evidence from Miss Dobbins, the nutritionist for the Dairy Association, about that chocolate milk has the same 9 essential vitamins as does regular milk. So schools should keep serving chocolate milk to us. I love chocolate milk, and my friends love chocolate milk. Everyone loves chocolate milk. They make strawberry milk as well, and they should serve that too. We should serve chocolate milk because it tastes good and because it has some good vitamins. I'm going to stop there. Now, if I went ahead and I added in that piece of evidence in this sentence, because it tastes good and because it has the same 9 essential vitamins as does white milk, said Ms. Dobbins, a nutritionist from the Dairy Association, period. Would that make that paragraph a lot stronger? Of course it would. And it would for several reasons. Number one, I'm putting in that piece of evidence. And I'm also giving a source from where the evidence came from. Said Ms. Dobbins, a nutritionist for the Dairy Association. And that's all you're really doing. You want to find that strong, compelling evidence. You want to find a place to put into your story to make your letter even stronger. So let me just quickly again summarize what it is that I had just did. So I read the article from the Nutrition Council looking for evidence to support Jack's claim that chocolate milk should be allowed in school. Then I was thinking carefully about the article and about the piece of evidence, making sure that it's really strong evidence that really does truly support my claim. And then I'm writing it down. I want to paraphrase it by putting it in my own words. And then I go back to my draft, finding where it best fits, and then I pop it right in. So let's just do a quick review of what it is that I'm going to expect of you today. You're going to first of all review your argument. Then you're going to review the evidence that you already have. You're going to find more evidence that strengthens your argument. When you find that evidence, you're going to put it into your own words. You're going to paraphrase it, and then you're going to pop it into your article where it should fit. So before you get started, let me just again do another quick review of all the things that you've accomplished so far in how to write an argument. These are all the things that have taken place so far in class. First of all, you have collected evidence that allows you to think through both sides of an argument or through multiple sides of an argument. You then rehearsed by explaining your position and listing your reasons point by point. And then you planned your claim and reasons into a boxes and bullets structure. We all did that. Now you're going to use evidence to support your reason, paraphrasing and putting it into your own words. So far, those have been the steps in how to write an argument. Make sure that when you're done, you submit your work into the standard-based grading Dropbox so I can go ahead and review it. Let me go ahead and answer this question for you, for all the people that are going to come up and ask me. Do you have to find supporting evidence for every single point that you made? No, you don't. Because some may already be really strong. You have to find the weak links or the chinks in your armor in order to make it stronger. I want you to think that you're a knight. There's going to be parts of your armor that's going to be very strong, but there's going to be other areas of weakness. If your enemy finds the weaknesses, they can hurt you. Prevent getting hurt in your argument by finding those weak points in your armor and making them stronger with better evidence.